Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Now, in doing some more information on looking up things for Genshin Impact, I came across a video by Stylized Station, why Genshin Impact is an artistic and technical masterpiece. Now, of course, I have not played the game thus yet, and is it truly a masterpiece? I can't say for certain. But, nevertheless, I'm going to check out this video and see, the art style. Art style, so far, I have to say, it's not that it is based off, kind of like an anime feel, but it doesn't have like that, I guess, generic anime look to it. It's something else to it. I don't know what kind of art style it is per se, but it's so different that you can tell, but it's hard to put into words. It's one of those things. So, but if you guys wanted to check out, Stylized Station and his rest of his content, hop on over there, like and subscribe to the guy. But let's check out why actually Genshin Impact is an artistic and technical masterpiece. Let's go. There we go. Come on.
Wow. Maybe it was walking out of the vault for the first time in Fallout 3, or maybe it was watching the first Colossus pass you by in Shadow of the Colossus.
Ooh, I still need to play Shadow of the Colossus.
It was the first time I saw the world of Genshin Impact.
Yeah, it's like very vibrant. Like the details really pop.
But why is it so beautiful anyway? What's going on behind the scenes here? How does Genshin Impact manage to combine real-life influences with an incredibly convincing 3D anime art style and create something so unique and fresh? The perfectly executed anime art style is a big reason why so many players like myself have developed an unbending loyalty to this game. And it's this exact art style that I want to dissect today. Without further ado, let's explore the art of Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact. Bro, really? An ad already? I just started the video. Come on. But, get your money. Get your money.
The universe of Genshin Impact was created with an outstanding amount of attention to detail upon an intricate framework that contains a surprising amount of reference to the real world. We'll get into that in a bit. Genshin's universe is split between 7 factions, each corresponding to an element. These include the 4 elements considered by the Western cultures.
Okay, so like mana.
The Earth, along with other elements derived from Eastern traditions. Each elemental domain has a god, or archon, presiding over them, with their names along with many others directly lifted from Ars Goetia, a pagan grimoire.
Ooh.
Even the twins' names, the 2 possible characters a player could choose at the beginning of the game, are a clever wordplay meant to represent yin and yang.
Oh, so we can choose
between heaven and earth. Combining
that.
Different elements of ancient religions, Gnosticism, and Eastern schools of thought. Genshin
I thought there was just like one standard main protagonist, but then I do also, YouTube has been spamming me with some
format that makes it fun and visually
ooh,
and it's easy to understand.
but YouTube has been spamming me with
so successful in such a
shows where I see both the boy and girl, so
players
makes sense.
Also faced with a unique gaming experience on top of the stunning visuals. The vast open world invites careful exploration, and the intricate storylines honestly kept me glued to my screen for longer than I'd like to admit. In an interview by Pocket Gamer, miHoYo's president Forrest Wei Liu mentioned that the team's love for Japanese entertainment was the bedrock for creating this game. Although the vast majority of the group, comprising of more than 400 people, were of Chinese descent. Now, this is really interesting to me, since most of the in-game scenes could easily be mistaken for authentic Ghibli movies. And an overwhelming number of players also noticed the resemblance to the beloved Breath of the Wild. And Wei Liu confirmed that the cel-shaded Zelda installment was in fact a heavy inspiration for Genshin Impact.
I guess that's why it worked so well.
Skyward Blade through the Wish system. However, I am here to say that Genshin
that's a direct copy.
God damn. A Breath of the Wild knockoff, as it draws inspiration from various games and game mechanics, including previous miHoYo games such as Honkai Impact 3rd. And yet, with the visuals being so heavily inspired by existing styles, Genshin Impact has still managed to carve out its own unique artistic identity. To achieve this, the studio used the beloved anime style as a stepping stone and defined the game's visual character through a plethora of cultural motifs anchored in real life. Every location of this game was carefully created to reflect real-life places. The characters, both playable and non-playable, were designed to fit within a cultural background that players all around the world can relate to.
Alright.
I think this is a perfect time to look into the environment design of Genshin Impact. As a horrible artist myself, much of this game's appeal stems from the gorgeous scenery. I actually have a course that teaches you how to create beautiful environments like this using Unreal Engine and Blender, so make sure to check out that link in the description.
Oh, nice.
When designing the world of Genshin Impact, MiHoYo's art department had two things in mind: to develop certain styles that perfectly match the essence of each faction, and making sure to communicate that aesthetic effectively. Now, Genshin Impact was built entirely on a customized version of Unity due to its extensive multi-platform support. Two different render pipelines were put in place, which is quite a strange practice to see for a game like this. However, given the heavily stylized nature of this game, the studio saw it fit to employ two separate pipelines: a PBR pipeline for the environments and a cel-shaded hand-painted pipeline for the characters. We're going to get into both of those eventually.
Yeah, I never even heard those terms.
The first region a player gets to explore is the Anemo Nation, which corresponds to the wind element. The Anemo Nation resides in the city of Freedom, called Mondstadt. In German, the name translates to Moon City, and is heavily inspired by Germanic architecture. The half-timbered houses are reminiscent
yeah, it kind of reminds me of
medieval
like Attack on
German
Titan as
structures,
well.
with their similarity becoming really striking,
Especially with the
compared to
wall.
the houses of the German town Miltenberg. The city of Mondstadt was built in an oval shape.
Matter of fact, is Attack on Titan inspiration from, you know, like that German architect of you know, of structures and buildings? Because of course, I mean, in this shot, it just looks like a regular castle. Well, I mean, like a town and the castle in the background. I mean, just the homes, like the way the roofs are, and like how pointy and sharp everything seems. It looks very Attack on Titan-esque. I wonder if they actually took inspiration from there.
Inspired by Bern, the capital of Switzerland. In the center of Mondstadt is a giant awe-inducing cathedral, which was most likely inspired by the Grand Cathedral in Regensburg.
Oh, wow.
The environment design is...
Bro, look at that, man. Look at that. I mean, of course, everyone wants of course, everyone wants to travel, but bro, that would be a nice place, a very cool place to see, like in real life. Bro, look at the architect, man. The thing that people can actually design and create makes you think, man. Like, wow, humans have this much potential. Incredible.
The render pipeline takes into account the day and night cycle, weather conditions, as well as the complexity of the environment. All throughout Tevyat, you won't find a single big light source. All of the lights and environments are dynamic, including the local ones that contribute to both direct and indirect lighting in the proximity of the player camera. With Genshin Impact, the beauty really is in the details. The use of dynamic shadows all across the game enhance the three-dimensional feel of Tevyat. When players walk under a tree, the leaves cast shadows onto their bodies. Volumetric fog of different densities in certain regions or time of day periods come into contact with the local lighting, enriching the atmosphere and creating a unique experience at each part of the day in each different location. Speaking of volumetrics, I'd love to take a second to point out Genshin Impact's incredible cloud volumetric system. Typically, games will use 2D images of clouds in the background to fake them.
Yeah.
Genshin Impact has physical, dynamic clouds that move, shift forms, and react to light, casting shadows on the ground below.
What?
I'll be diving into these techniques
Oh, that's
more
cool.
detail in my new upcoming series, Game Ready. So keep an eye out for that. Objects blocking the
Damn.
sun
Yeah, look how it just
and
forms
moonlight
like
create
that.
These beautiful god ray effects, coupled with the expert terrain blending and post-effect.
I wonder if any game has like that kind of
color remapping.
utilization
The end
for
result
clouds
is
as well.
stunning imagery that could trick most eyes into believing that this scene is actually 2D artwork.
Mundo.com makes games great again. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to say again, because they never were, and they're complicated. See...
Now, as we go past the walls of Mondstadt, we're met with high mountains and green pastures spreading for miles, which makes the outer area look a lot like the Mondsee area of Austria, which, for record, is also known as Moon Lake. This is a fun little detail I found. Special attention was given to the grass of Genshin Impact in order to achieve the painterly look of the terrain. The studio modeled and textured a variety of grass concept motifs. These were then given randomized densities, size, orientations, and multiple sets of grass LODs were grouped together.
I mean, I think it's also kind of unique how like you can kind of see almost every single blade of grass within, you know, within an actual field. Like if you zoom in real close, like you can see like it's just like blades of grass next to a blade of grass. And usually in games, I noticed that they will kind of clump like grasses together, almost like in patches, and it looks very wonky and weird. Some games can pull it off, others can't. But I noticed, like really in Genshin Impact, I mean from the images and trailers I've seen thus far, I mean it almost seems like every single piece of grass has been individually placed precisely there. Maybe they have a way of doing it, because of course no one's going to actually do that for however big this world is. But that's very unique. What do you want? I'll edit this out.
I haven't seen nothing. See, you fucking up yourself. But anywho, I go in eat. Fuck you, see you want a fried flounder?
Yeah, give me that flounder burger again.
Oh, that sandwich.
Yeah.
Want some deco too?
Nigga, the flounder burger already cost me $16. We got NyQuil in the...
Yeah, but you need something for the day. You know, that thing burger, the thing sandwich, you got you, yeah.
Go ahead, give me deco, nigga.
No.
Go ahead, give me deco.
No.
Versions were prepared for each set to keep things nice and optimized. Cliffs and mountains also occupy a big portion of most scenes in this game. To maintain a stylized, consistent look, the studio tried to retain some of the brushstroke effects. The texture applied to rocks comprised 8 different layers, and each of them had 3 different versions to account for detailed differences seen at specific distances. The hand-painted layers are actually fully procedural and use a lot of cool color blurring and blending techniques to get the desired look. I go over this technique extensively in my stylized texturing course, and I'll leave a link in the description for that one too. Genshin Impact features hundreds of different models of trees, bushes, and other foliage. The team had to employ several shading tricks to make them blend seamlessly into the environment while retaining some of the details. They use spherical models for the leaves, along with a technique relying on the angle of the player's camera to clip individual leaves out of the render. The specular and shadows between the leaves were then...
Yeah, but I mean, I know it's kind of like with this tree in particular. Trees, I mean, of course trees are different than grass, but I don't think anyone has been able to perfect the look of a tree in a video game thus far. Because the trees are rough. I'm no artist, but in the year 2023, you would think that it'd be easier than this, but I'm guessing it's harder than it looks. I can say that. So the actual wood, like the trunks and everything, they seem alright, but actually duplicating an in-life tree, not in-life, why did that sound weird, a real-life tree to like in-game, to like an in-game engine, I don't think we're there yet.
Lighting.
Oh, but that looks really good. That bush, that looks really good. Wow. Like it looks, of course it looks like a bush, but you can see like how it's like almost like layered on top of layered, and like just the layering effect as a bush would. That looks really clean and crisp. Like the edges are sharp and detailed. This looks really good. Okay.
Looking too dark, which is essential in this painterly Ghibli style. If you look closely enough at the trees, you'll also notice some subsurface scattering on the leaves of the trees, mimicking an effect we see in real life, where light creates a rim effect on the edges of leaves if sunlight shines through at the right angle. If you venture further into the wilderness,
I think I see it.
You'll soon
I just see it almost looks like pebbles on a on a tree.
From here, the scenery
on the tree
gradually
trunk
shifts, and the architecture, along with the path, slowly reveals the motifs of a new region, Liyue. Governed by the god of Geo, an element corresponding to Earth, the nation of Liyue resides in a very lively commercial harbor. This is one of my favorite.
Okay, so this definitely takes inspiration from Japanese, influence. Yeah, this is Japanese influence.
environments in the entire
A
game.
village
The architecture
hidden
of
within
the
the
city
mountains.
was heavily inspired by ancient China, featuring warm color palettes, clay
Really?
rooftops,
China?
and stilted houses.
Yeah, I guess China and, the Chinese and Japanese, they're very closely related. But I would never think China.
For a team of Chinese developers, it was paramount to bring Liyue to a level of
Huh.
perfection as to reflect the gentle yet imposing booty.
Bro, I paused it. I paused it at such the right time. Holy shit. Who is this, bro? Who is this? Bro, oh my. Bro, I gotta hurry up and play this game. Oh. I'm starting to see why this game sold. Why this game sold the way it sold. Why it made the money it made.
Booty. As to reflect the gentle yet imposing beauty of their own hometowns. Seas of
Damn.
reeds embellish the terrain.
Oh,
with
that's
bodies of
awesome.
Water dancing with each gentle breeze. Inspired by the delicate balance of content and empty space which characterizes Chinese Shanshui landscape paintings, the team built an array of peaks and stone forests as a backdrop.
Bro,
for
look at this
prominent
art, man.
elements. The soothing scenery brought forward the name of the first
Beautiful.
piece of architecture we see in Liyue, the Wangshu Inn. Its design drew from the Wankong Temple, built into a cliff near Mount Hang in China. The environment art team for MiHoYo mentioned how important it was for them to represent Chinese characteristics in front of a global player base. To achieve
Also because this game has to sell in China. So, of course, they have to get the Chinese aspects down correctly.
this, they compared various landmarks and pieces of Chinese culture and finally selected the area of Zhangjiajie as one of the
I mean,
main
which they
sources
should.
of
I mean, being that I
inspiration.
believe
I'm
this is
so
a
sorry
Chinese
for
company
all
that's
these
doing all this.
episodes.
So, of course, they're going to get that down correctly. Down right.
Hi,
Ah.
viewers. It's time to focus on what you do best. So go to wix.com/dropship.
Version 2.0 brought players the third large-scale region open to exploration. Centered around the element Electro, the theme for Inazuma was Eternity, a beautiful contrast to the short lifespan of Lightning. Inspired by Japan, the region is located in the...
Okay, so
eastern
this is
part of
inspired by
Tevye,
Japan.
a group of islands accessible only via the ocean. The vast landscape is dotted with painterly sakura blossoms and high mountain peaks preside over the backdrop. Grand
This is
Narukami
incredible.
Shrine, the region's largest, closely resembles traditional...
Oh, look at that, man. You can kind of see like a... What was that, like a fox or a wolf embedded in the tree? That's cool. I think that has to be a fox. Because I know, at least in Japanese lore, it... I believe the kitsune is from Japanese lore. And I know that from, of course, Naruto and Overwatch with Kirito. So, I believe that's a fox. I believe that's like one of their... I don't want to say deities. But I know they hold the fox in like high regard.
Japanese places of worship. Players get to walk through...
Okay, so that may be
gates
like a
and cleanse
deity
their
almost.
hands on
If that's a place of
purification
worship.
stones. Lion-like statues resembling Japanese komainu.
Oh, look at
act
that
like
statue
shrine
right there,
guardians,
man.
And
Yeah,
fan,
this.
lotus, and cherry
That's
blossom
awesome.
imagery can be found all throughout Inazuma. The region's very name comes
Bro, look at his
from
characters.
Inazuma,
Like the
which
art
means
model,
lightning
like the
in
model
Japanese.
arts. Art
These
models,
elements
model
blend
arts.
beautifully with an
Like, they're
encompassing
clean.
visual art style,
They're very
creating a
crisp.
unique, almost austere atmosphere. MiHoYo put a lot of effort into making Inazuma a dream world for any anime fan out there, and I really believe they nailed it.
Okay.
Genshin Impact managed to beautifully balance the heavily stylized look with real-world architectural influences, but there's another layer to the design of Tevyat that makes the game environments truly unique. The 7 elements serve multiple purposes for the game mechanics, but they also influence the design quite heavily as well. Affiliation to the elements is present in every design choice, from the intricate costume design to VFX to the architecture
Ooh.
itself. Mondstadt, the city of wind that we talked about earlier, is built on many different elevation levels with plenty of staircases, allowing its inhabitants to
Yep,
glide from
I'm
one
starting
wall
to see,
another.
yeah.
The Anemo emblem of wind
I'm starting to
can
see
be
why
seen
people
on
will
many
enjoy this
items,
game.
including the crest of the Knights
The
of
plot.
Favonius, the city's protected chapter. The elements influence everything, from unique talents to the appearance of the characters, even their personality. In most cultures, water symbolized the body, thus emotions. Hydro,
Right.
or water characters in Genshin Impact, were designed to look soft, quiet, and empathetic. They feature big, bright eyes and soft facial expressions. Their animations
she's pretty.
look graceful and flowy. Pyros, on the other hand, look passionate and determined, and are a little more spicy with their personalities. To solve the challenging issue of several cultural influences and references all mixed together, MiHoYo used the elemental system to bring everything together into a single cohesive world. The 7 elements used feel distinct enough for the player to feel compelled to keep exploring, but they are similar enough to make Teviat into something original. Character design. Alright. Character design is the bread and butter of Genshin.
Why do you say it like
As a
that?
free-to-play game of such quality, Genshin Impact relies on the gacha system to turn a profit.
There we go.
Characters are the most desired type of content in the game, and much of the storytelling revolves around them. In addition, perfecting their appearance was the key element in order to achieve the desired.
Oh, what the fuck?
anime
There we go.
style. Special attention was given to the shaders of the characters to ensure an authentic anime look. They hand-painted shadow masks specifically for the face, which they can later
Yeah, they're not
manually
dumb.
based on the direction of light. The position of the shadow can be artificially set based on the material settings, light intensity, and even mesh curvature. The color in the darkest areas can also be controlled by the color of the environment and at the artist's preference. As a result, the team spent copious amounts of time perfecting the concepts and making sure that they not only fit within the world, but also revealed critical details about the nature of the game. Each character features a complex set of past, present...
Dude, holy shit, is that the roster? No fucking way. What? Oh my god, man. Dude, this looks like a... What kind of game is it? I've never seen a roster like this. My goodness. Yo, this looks like the wallpaper for Super Smash Brothers. Huh. So, I mean, I'm guessing we get, like, you know, an in-depth look at each individual character along the way. I mean, this game has been out for, what, 3 years? But damn, bro. It's like everyone is here. Like, and I don't even know if this is everyone or if this is just, you know, what they can capture in this scene. But that's a lot of characters. That's a lot of interaction.
The world of Teviat. Each character has unique features and animations that distinguish them from the other characters. It is these core features...
Oh, I also noticed that you can actually... You can get a party of 4, it looks like, and you can switch characters. Oh, okay. That's cool, because I thought, at least when I seen some, you know, some other trailers, that you would have to pick, like, one character, then, like, I guess, almost like run to a specific spot in order for you to use them, because I would have thought that they would have, like, almost like zones designed for that particular character. But it looks like you can just switch them on the fly with a party of 4. Okay.
Team uses as guiding principles for the character design.
Yeah.
In an
that's
installment
okay.
of their developer notes series,
alright.
MiHoYo revealed much of their thought process behind the creation of a character named Xiao. They drew inspiration from folk legends and religious stories and blended influences from Taoist deities, ancient Chinese spirits, Buddhist guardians, and mythological creatures. This result was a rich character with a unique set of values, drives, and personality traits. His outfit reflects a young, competent warrior that moves swiftly like the wind, which is his corresponding element. His accessories are all rooted in ancient Chinese tradition. The mask he wears in combat draws from Chinese exorcism masks. He wears a vajra, if I'm saying that right, at the neck and censer at the waist, 2 items ritualistically used to fight evil. Another great example of character design is Zhongli, the current vessel of the god Morax. He features a long ponytail, a deeply rooted Chinese symbol of social status. He has the scales on either side of his robe, which represent the emperor's power and adaptability. His design contains a lot of patterning, references to the 12 symbols of sovereignty introduced in the Zhao
Turn off that
dynasty,
hotkey.
exclusively worn by the emperor. Barring a few characters, Genshin's character design rarely features actual armor, despite all playable characters being fighters. The focus on the design leans more on the visual appeal rather than practical considerations. Most outfits revolve around a predominant color, which generally signifies the element associated with that character. That color is then paired with shades of white or black, then a few splashes of accent color are added for more visual interest. The accessories are what sets most of their designs apart. These accessories mostly fit within a certain theme related to their nationality. Mondstadt characters have more dagger-like triangular shapes as embellishments with more belts. In contrast, the clothing of Liu Wei features plenty of Chinese knotting, thick cords, and tassels. Each elemental affiliation is also reflected in the character's movements. Wind characters feature quick movements that end in a slow, controlled manner. They are swift as the wind, but retain their gracefulness with every attack. Geo, or earth characters, such as Zhongli, feature quick, imposing moves. Their power can be felt through the steady way that they attack with every move. It's almost like that they stay grounded. In order to further distinguish each character, the developers gave them unique abilities, which come with their own visual effects. These are heavily influenced by their corresponding element, but they retain some individuality and reflect some of the character's backstory. Razor, for example, was presented as an orphan who was raised by wolves. As a result, his elemental burst in VFX shows a wolf spirit slaying his enemies.
So like in Nilsuke.
Barbara, one of my favorite characters, her ability shows a colorful burst of magical notes, telling of her habit of humming all over Mondstadt. All of these complex elements of culture...
Well, I mean, that's good that every individual character has a unique and individual identity. That's good. That's good, because so many times you've seen characters like kind of blend into each other. Like they seem very stagnant, it's like you can't really tell the difference between any of them because like they're all so similar. It's like, you know, it doesn't make for a remarkable cast. So that is great that, you know, everyone is completely different. That's cool.
Inspired design and technical art prowess are all perfectly blended together to create one cohesive, beautiful piece of art. So yeah, Genshin Impact's pretty cool.
Okay. Wow. All right. That's awesome. All right. Hey, the more that I learn about this game, the more I'm willing to actually, you know, give it a, I guess not really give it a try, because I mean, I am going to give it a try, but I guess upload it if you guys want to see it. I mean, from what I can tell, the game looks alright. I don't know how bad the gacha system is. I probably need to check that out as well, because not everything that glistens is gold. So I don't think Genshin Impact, from what I've seen so far, is a bad game. You know, I like the art. The combat looks incredible. I don't know anything about the characters yet, but I still need to see what kind of gacha system, how bad is the gacha system, because of course a free-to-play game isn't truly free. So guys, if you guys would like to see more Genshin Impact on the channel, you already know what to do. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. All that jazz. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.